Hello friends, thank you for joining me on another session. I was working on the API automation where we need to talk about the JSON paths and expressions while working on the API response. I was thinking of quickly talk about JSON paths and expressions. We all know what JSON is. JSON is the JavaScript notation of an object. Data in JSON is represented by name value pair. Attributes of an object are separated by comma in a JSON representation of the same. Curly braces holds an object and square bracket holds an array. In the previous slide, we talked about what JSON is. Now we'll talk about what JSON paths are. JSON path is a query language for JSON. A JSON path expression specifies a path to an element or a set of elements in a JSON structure. So we'll talk about the JSON paths using expressions, and we'll go through each with the help of an example. Now let's talk about the JSON expressions. Here we have a JSON object which has attribute first name, last name, address. Address has 3 sub-elements: street address, city, postal code, and phone numbers is an array of an object which has type, number, and phone type. Instead of type, we should have device type. Let's talk about the first expression. $sign defines the root, and this denotes the root object or the root array. Next we have dot property first name, so this gives us Amar. If I use last name or address, it gives me the address. Always remember, whenever we apply expressions on the JSON object, we will always get an array as an output. Here we have an array, and inside is the output for JSON path syntax. One way of denoting property is using dot operator. Another is the square brackets. So we can do like this. Say we have address and can have another square bracket which denotes city. So this will give us Dwarka. Now let's talk about the arrays. We have phone numbers as an array in our object. Root dot phone numbers. This gives us the array. And if I say I want the object at second index, so I'll use 1 because indexes start from 0. So this gives me this object. If I want to select certain indexes, say first index or the third index, I will use 0, 2. This will give me the object at 0th position and the 3rd position. Next is the recursive descent, which we can use with 2 dots and the name of the property. For example, we want to search all the device types. We'll do is $device type. This searches for the specified property name recursively and returns an array of all the values with this property. And this always returns an array even if one property is found. Next we have inline is, which is a wildcard and selects all the elements in an object or an array regardless of their names or indices. For example, we have address here. If I do address dot star, this will give me the values of an object. And if I do for an array, for example, I do for phone numbers, a value of the index, I provide star, I get my object here. Next in line is the range. We denote it by start index colon end. In this example, we are getting the indexes ranging from second index to the third index. As we know, array starts from 0, and since we have 4 elements, the last element in the array is at the index 3. Since we have specified 3 here and we have got the object of index 2, that means the end index is not included. And if you do not mention the end index, it selects all the element starting from the mentioned index. Now the next in line is colon, which helps us select the first n elements of an array. It also returns a list, and the syntax for this is colon and the number of elements we want. Colon 2, this will give me the 2 indexes, first and second. If I say 4, this will give me all 4. Please remember here, this is not the index, this is the number of elements that you want. And if I just swap the position of colon and number and put minus before that, it will give me the last 2 elements. Another operator that now we are going to discuss is script operator, and the way to denote is question mark and the parenthesis. And inside this script expression, we'll use @ denotes the current node, dot. Say if you want to filter all the device types with mobile, and the way to do is inside the script operator, we use @ which is the current node operator, dot device type, and we specify the filter value, which is mobile. So here we have got two objects matching value device type mobile. We talk about the filter expression. Now let's talk about the script expression in which we don't have a question mark. And say for example, we want to get a phone number for the last element. From an API response, we will not know the size of the array. So the way to do is from the current object, we'll find the length -1. That will give us the last object. So this will give me a single value which I can verify in my automation. This calls the end of the expressions. Give this slide a moment to understand what all expressions we can use on the JSON path. Now we will discuss filters. Filters are the operations that we can use on the JSON path inside our script expression or the filter expression, that is question mark and the parenthesis. These are the filters we can use on JSON path script expression. We have equals to, not equal, greater than equal to, less than equal to, negate, logical and, logical or, equal and a tilde symbol. That is for matching a JavaScript regular expression. We will discuss these in detail now. Let's first start with equals. Say for example, we want to pull out a phone number of device type home and phone type business. We can do with the help of script expression that starts with question mark, and this is the current node. Instead of length, we will use phone type equals, and we always specify a string in a quotes, business, and we want to pull out the number for phone type business and device type home. So we'll use AND operator as well, equals to home. This expression pulls out the number for device type home and phone type business. Let's add one attribute here, that would be say area code. Let's use greater than attribute here. So it will be area code greater than 90. If I make it 92, it will go away. If I use less than equal to, if we use negate on area code, this will give us all the attribute where area code is not present. This calls the end of JSON path discussion, and we will utilize this knowledge when we work on API automation. Thank you for joining me on this session. Please like and subscribe for more.